workout dedicated to improving your posture. And for this, I've invited a very special, eminent personal trainer, Zana Morris, who knows all about the moves we need to pull our shoulders back, lift our neck nice and long, pull our chin in, strengthen our back. And I've been working with her for the past few weeks to try and improve my own posture. And she had such great insights that I thought I would share it with everyone. So Zana, as you may know, is a founder of 3 gyms in London, the Clock, the Library. She now does personal training online, and she is the pioneer of the 15-minute workout, which is fabulous because none of us have got any time, but we all have hunched shoulders, I can bet, and a bit of tech neck. So this workout is going to be quite quick, and I'm going to see if she's here now. I think she may be. No, not yet. So while Zana is waiting to join, I'm just going to take you through the equipment that you'll need. You can do this with no equipment. We're going to be doing a lot of arm moves like this and lying on the floor. I'm doing it barefoot. Here we go. Zana, there you are. Here we go. And when Zana pops on, we can go through the equipment that you'll need. I'm here, Zana, just send me it. Right, sorry. Okay, let's see if that works. There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Zana, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you very much. Very good.
Oh, I'm going to just turn up your volume a little bit here so I can hear you.
Well, do likewise. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Welcome, everyone. We've been working on this workout together for a few weeks now, perfecting all of the a few moves that everyone can do, and you can pretty much do it with no equipment, but we'll go through it in a minute to help us with posture. So welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about what muscles will be working and why in this workout, which should take us about 20 minutes?
25 minutes, yes. So we're working the lovely long line from actually really the base of the skull right the way down to your hamstrings. So we're going to be working a little bit into the neck, the back, the shoulders, the middle of the back, the lower back, glutes, hamstrings, and a little bit on the lower abs. And the main reason is,
Zana has frozen at my end. Let's have a go. Let's see if she's coming back. While Zana has frozen, I'm going to talk you through the equipment you'll need. So you'll need, these are optional, lightweights. I've got about 1.5 kilos. You'll need a light physio band. Again, if you haven't got any of this, don't worry, we can all do it without. So this is the easiest physio band that you can get, or any kind of stretchy band that's hasn't got too much resistance. And you'll need a stool or a chair or a bench. We're going to be lying on top of it. If you haven't got that, haven't got a soft one, get a cushion. I've got a broom here because we might be doing a bit of this, but again, you can do it with the band. So I've just got lots of options depending on what people have on the house. We will be on the floor for a little bit, so I have my mat here, but if you've got carpet, you'll be fine. And I'm barefoot. Right, let me see if I can find Zana again. Here we go. Sorry, everyone. It's kind of more tissues. Sorry, I just did a quick equipment run through while you were frozen there. So yes, thank you. We were talking about all the muscles that we were going to be strengthening. Essentially, mostly the back and a bit of the core.
yes, all that line there, and it helps lift the head up, pull the shoulders down, pull those shoulder blades down and together as such, and it gets a support through the glutes as well. So you organically will get your weight back towards your heel, really. But it's stunning, these posture ones for taking, as you know, the pressure off the neck, helps open out the shoulder area, pulls in the waist, opens up the chest. Great for breathing because you open that whole chest cavity out. But yes, so we'll be strengthening all the muscles that get weak by the days, weeks, and months we spend leaning over between driving, laptops, iPhones, and all the things that train us forward.
And actually, that not only does it take the weight off the neck, so it can really ease neck pain, but it also pulls your waist in, which is never a bad thing.
Yes. Yes, because everything that pulls your shoulders back and chest up organically is going to pull in the waist. It's great. If you think about it, otherwise you're sort of leaning this way. This all gently just realigns. It gets the alignment back. It's brilliant. And the thing that I find most exciting about it is the fact it does seem to impact breathing as well, because you do open those shoulders out. So you get much, it's weirdly relaxing when you're taller, when you have those shoulders opened out, that chest freed up, and the muscles behind able to hold you. But as you will probably have noticed as well, with all the yoga postures, these are all the muscles that hold you as well. It helps any kind of discipline that you work with. It sort of gives you the support, planks, push-ups, and all of that.
What we can miss in yoga, which I've discovered through you, is a little bit of back strengthening, and I'm learning to do my to do a lot more back bending, and to actually get that back bend shape, you need to shorten the muscles in the back to create that arc. So
yes, get them get them to be able to contract and hold you.
These muscles here, these have really switched off for me for you need for things like frog pose. And so it's what you've taught me as well is making the mental connection with the muscles. So that's what we're going to be doing a lot of today. It's less lifting heavy things. It's really switching on your mental connection with the shoulders, and you're going to tell us exactly where to kind of put our mind as we're doing it, shoulders and back, and really switch those muscles on so they start working for us again to hold us upright.
Exactly. It's exactly that. Get them activated. And
shall we get going?
Yes.
So,
yes, I think we should. I think we should. Now, making sure I think I've got mine clear.
Okay, so we're going to start at the door, aren't we? Yeah, so
we are indeed. Now, I'm just making sure that there is enough clarity on mine. I think there is. Yes, that might bring it up a little bit. Yes, so you're going to start in the door. So the first exercise, and the reason for this, is to open out that chest. Because so many of these exercises, when we try to work into the back and the back of the shoulders, if the chest is really tight, which will be from everything we do, you're not going to be able to get into it. So this is just a stretch to open that chest area out. And exactly as you're doing, you rest your hands, forearms and elbows against that door frame, stand in the middle and just hang forward. And just for 3 nice good breaths, open it out and stretch it out.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure as you're doing it there, Victoria, you can feel that opening out.
Yeah, because as our
backs
get sort of weak, our chest gets very tight, doesn't it? So I'm
yes. And it's also the back is. I was just going to say, as the back gets weak, it's also because we're working here and we're training our chest muscles as well every day almost with that. So give them a rest. So yes, 3, 1 slightly lower than the shoulder, 1 at the shoulder height, and 1 slightly above. And I think you noticed this as well, but everyone notices it slightly differently. There's always one area that's slightly tighter than the other. One of these feels slightly more restricted.
To drop the head forward here, don't you? Because that's the thing we want to train out of ourselves, is the habit of carrying the weight of our head on our neck. Right, I've done my stretches.
Exactly. So it's that lovely chin up. So then we are going to get moving with all of this. So the next one, as you've kindly described, we're going to be doing all of the rest with bands, or I will be showing some of the free weights, but we can almost do all of this set with just these lovely free bands. And I just want to make sure I'm nicely in picture and in shot. Yes. Right, so first one is for the back of the shoulders. It's a rear deltoid and we can fly, if you like. And if you remember, Victoria, we're holding the band.
8, aren't we? So for each of these. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. 3 sets of 8 of this one. The first set, I do it as a slightly modified one to really make sure you're getting into the back of the shoulders. So yes, you have the grip so that and the bands rest just nicely at the base of the neck on this one. You loop it around your hands like so. And exactly like that, you reach out as if you're trying to touch either wall in your room. Imagine your fingers are touching. You want a lovely straight flat line. Tuck the shoulder blades down into the back. And your weight is slightly on your heel. You're in that what we used to call a horse stance. Very solid. Lock those arms and then focusing your mind on those shoulder blades. Control the band forward and back for 8. Tips the neck. That's it. And you control it through those shoulder blades. Feel them
in my shoulder blades. If I really send my mind to my shoulder blades, it stops my elbows from bending and really means I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together.
Yes.
So this is helping draw the shoulders back down into their sockets. In fact, I've got the band a little bit too tight here. I'm going to just loosen it.
And that's really important with that when you're doing with the bands. You can have them as relaxed or as tight as you want. This is about getting the form and into the muscle. It's not about how much resistance, at least not to begin with, not until you've really got it. So once you've done the 8 of those, which I think you must be nearly done. Yeah, that's that lovely muscle. That's the exact opposite. So when we lean forward, it's now pulling back. The second set is where once you've got that with the arms straight, your second set starts the exact same way. Reach out, tuck the shoulder blades down into the back. Lovely straight arms to begin with. Weight on your heel. And then little bend and lock. So little bend at the elbow. And now everything else is the same. Keep the elbows high. Keep the shoulders down. Use your shoulder blades to control this.
That's a really good
just for the 8.
The shoulder blades to control it, and not your elbows or your hands. So you've really got to send the mind to the back of the body.
That's it. Exactly that. And if you find this one too hard, you can keep with the first one. It works at 2. So just a nice
7.
little set of 8.
8.
Getting that. And 8. Lovely.
Okay.
Well done. Lovely. And you'll feel that already shoulders pulling back. And we've only just started, but already your posture will be changing. I love this exercise. So one last set. Reaching out. Shoulder blades tuck in. Weight slightly on your heel. Bend and lock. And make sure you're breathing, of course. Breathe in on the way forward. Breathe out on the way back.
You really don't need too much, you know, you don't need too much tension in the band at all, you know. It's more to keep your arms in place.
Don't at all. Yeah, you don't at all. So just a lovely little set of 8. There's you could almost do this without a band.
Actually, I almost do this without a band. If you haven't got a band, you do a yoga, and you can do it with a yoga belt, just quite loose. It's just to keep your arms in place, I think.
Yeah, and it's just that sensation because you really, without anything, you can feel that exercise contraction.
So exercises. So we've done 2.
Yes. So number 3. So that one, first one was opening the chest. That one was pulling the shoulders back. The next one is the shoulder rotation one. It's a rotator row. I love this one because so many of us can have restricted shoulder movement, and this trains it all back and helps get the shoulders back and down into place. I really love this one. So this one, and actually, just to describe this, those the Asian lucky money cats, if you can imagine those, this is the move.
I've been doing this against the wall. I'm not going to do it against my picture. There we go. I've been doing them like this, and that's really good. If you kind of don't have a band, you can do it just against the wall like this, just as effective.
Yeah. Exactly. So 3 sets of 8, but we do one hand at a time. So this takes a little bit longer. So the band is underneath my right foot, coming out through the front of the right foot.
Got it here.
If you can see. Yes, that's exactly it. Perfect. Yes. And from there, you stand nice and wide so that your foot is roughly under your elbow when your arm is extended out to the side like that. So you've got a lovely wide stance. So the band is pretty vertical. And again, like before, as we were saying, Victoria, you don't need the resistance too hard on this. You just want to get the exercise right, get into that shoulder. Very locked 90-degree angle there. Hand nice and solid, as in by hand I mean wrist. Try not to pull with the hand, try and focus on your forearm. And keep that elbow steady, steady, steady. So you're simply raising that band up by lifting your forearm until the band touches your elbow, or your elbow touches your band. So from the side, it looks like that. And it's worth, I find, with this one, I don't know if you find this, Victoria, but with this one, I find if you keep an eye on that elbow, it's much easier to make sure it's not moving up or down, or it's not pulling back.
And that's where the wall is so great, is you can kind of pretty much glue your upper arm to the wall, your shoulder.
Yes.
7.
Now good.
8.
into 8, exactly. And you'll feel it at the end of the move and underneath that shoulder blade. So you're feeling it through the whole shoulder, but particularly at the end, the shoulder blade sort of tucks into the back. And if you've got restricted movement in this, which I find with a lot of my clients they can do initially, only go as far up as you can keep the form. So if that is only halfway,
and if you've had
that's
frozen shoulder, I think, is this the one that's good for frozen shoulder?
It'll really help. And honestly, if you only get to here, like that, that's the start. You just start with that. And in fact, if you do have frozen shoulder, I've been trying to do this without any band to begin with. And you could rest your elbow on a table.
Yeah,
and literally just
feel my
the form onto the table
pulled,
and then back up.
being pulled back and down where it's supposed to be, not like that. I think I'm at 8 now.
Yes, that's it. So we do 3 sets of 8, but the second set I'm going to show you, and you can keep with the first set because honestly it is good enough to get that rotation. It really is. But if you find it super easy, the second set is actually the full move, and this is a full shoulder rotator row, which is the one where you grab, you take it from your leg, and the tension starts with your hand resting on your thigh, your shoulders down, nice long arm, and you simply lift using the elbows. The first part of the move is a lift with the elbow, and then you finish it off with the second part with raising that forearm. So elbow and then forearm.
That's really great for
a little bit
full
closer
range
to
of
the
motion
camera.
in the shoulder. This is great for a desk break. And actually, if you don't have a band, you could just practice that movement, couldn't you?
Oh, or you can. You very much can. And the key to this one is, on the first part of the move, your hand and forearm stay loose. There's no pull with them. And in the second half of the move, your forearm does the lift. Your elbow stays steady and your forearm does it. First bit, your elbow's doing the lift.
Elbow lift,
stays in
forearm.
its position.
Elbow, relax.
Yeah.
That must be 8 by now.
That's it. I think we got to the 8 and then we switch side. And exactly as you said there, Victoria, that this beauty of this one is it gets that whole shoulder rotation. It's if you really bring your mind into the shoulder and feel what the shoulder is doing through this, you feel it working right through the rotation of it to the end. And it gives such good strength through that, which it really needs. Those shoulders, it's such a small little joint that does such a big amount of work.
5, 6.
That's it.
7, 8. There we go.
That's the one. And so that's the second set. We've one more set to go. And again, as we said at the beginning, you can just keep these to halves to begin with. You really can. I wanted to show the third set with free weights. But obviously, if you don't know the weights, just continue with the bands. The band really is good enough. But just to show you how it could be done with free weights. Slightly different sensation though with this, because the weight is at the beginning of the exercise. When you get towards the end, there's less actual weight on it.
We're just doing it with the band.
This one,
like this, for the last set. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes. So continue with the band exactly as you're doing.
If you don't have a band, all the weights,
if people want to
you could carry on just against the wall like this. So bum against the wall, shoulders against the wall.
That's the one. And then the free weights is the one where you simply lift with the elbow, bring the forearms back. Everything looks the same. And you normally do this with just 2s. I've got actually 4s here. Yeah. But I'm sort of a little bit more used to doing it. I wouldn't start with 4s because you want to get the form and you don't want to be hoisting weights. You want to make sure those little muscles, because they really are quite small stabilizing muscles. You want to make sure you've got them doing their job. So I
think I've done my final set. I'm just doing the last one on the side.
Yeah, you're on the last run of it. So with the weights, I get away with 2 and 1. So you get a little bit faster with it. But I do think, particularly to begin with, I prefer doing this with a band.
For a while to get the technique.
Until you're kind of up and running.
You mentioned to me that we sort of slightly press the elbow forward, and what that does is it really squeezes the shoulder blade back.
Yes, it's that end of it where you get that little push, And that really catches it. It's lovely. And it really just catches it.
Right, I'm done with my 8. So exercise 3.
It's such a nice move. So now we're on to a press behind neck. So this next one, once you've done that shoulder rotation, this next one almost is easy because you've now got the positioning. This position here is actually your starting point for what we're going to do next. So it's called a press behind neck because it's a push behind neck, and now we're moving into the back. So we're getting more into the middle of the back here, still opening that chest out. We can start with your lovely broomstick.
So if you've got the stick,
so yes,
Zana, I'll do the band.
Very perfect, perfect. So the band, if you remember, it's worth measuring up above the at the top of your head. So you've got it sort of measured straight so that you get a nice 90-degree angle. And with this, so exactly there, I'm going to go more in front of the camera with this. You are starting, bringing your elbows back. It's like a shoulder press. My forearms and arms are behind the body line. I'm not moving my neck up and down or forward and back to do this. My head doesn't move. So it really is, it looks like a shoulder press. And the key with this one is you don't want the elbows to go back. If you do that, you're going to start working into here, which is exactly where we don't want to work. We want to work into the back. So the standing position, if you stand, have an exaggerated, push the bum behind you, lift the chest up.
So elbows go back, sorry, elbows go back or not?
Yes, so your elbows stay under your hands. Thank you for clarifying that. If they go behind your hands and your hands go forward, so when you come up, try and keep the line really straight behind, up, 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 and then when you come back, so it's straight down. So you're getting it lovely at the bottom end of that move. It's exactly that. What the temptation will be,
Anna,
I suspect you've done the road. The temptation will be for the elbow to tip. And you've got to keep the squeeze. So the exact same as the very end of that previous rotator row. So you get the set of 8 out.
Yeah.
Do a second set of 8.
Sets of 8.
And
yeah.
You have. And you want to feel at the bottom, and as you push up, feel the elbows pushing, and you feel it coming from the back. And then the third set, I just again want to show the weights for those of you who use weights or have weights. And again, let's just keep to the 2s. You carry up the band. You don't need the band for this, by the way, if you've got the weights, but the band is nice to direct you. It tends to allow you to feel for what's happening. So if I come down close, you are going to do it with the weights. Everything is the same. Up and down, pushing. Like that. And the bandage just helps you feel for what you're doing. You'll feel it a little bit in the sides, but a lot into the middle of the back, particularly if you get that arch, lifting the chest up, pushing the bum back.
This is, I mean, this band is like super light, but this is, I really feel this is working in my back. Yeah.
It's harder than it looks, that exercise. And again, if there's a lot of restriction, just do it as much as you can. And exactly as you said, Victoria, doing it against the wall is a great idea to begin with. If it just feels too challenging.
Sliding the arms up and down the wall like that, pressing the head and the bum into the wall and leaving it in the back. That is also good.
That's it. Exactly. Exactly. So you get that lovely squeeze. Brilliant. Yeah. Now, gosh, we're moving along very nicely. We're into the back. So next we're going to do a little bent over row. This one is easy to do, but can be a little bit easy to get wrong. Because what we're watching for all the time with these is your shoulders all the time, you want to keep them down and back. And the reason we've trained the shoulders first and open the chest out is now it's much easier to keep them in place. Yeah, you remember this one. It's the one where you stand an inch or 2 apart with your feet. And let me make sure. Yes, you've got it there. Perfect. That's it, exactly that. And you do, it's like almost like a skiing stance. You have a little bend at the knee. Try and keep the weight in the heel so you feel your bum and your hamstring helping here. Loop the band around your hands and again have it as tough or as easy as you need to get this right. Now I'm inclined when I stand up first to let the band pull my shoulders down into place, and that kind of positions me. And then I hold the shoulders there, and then I do a little bend forward, bum in the air, and exactly like that. Yeah, that's it. lift with the elbow.
Yeah, that's the key, is lift through the elbow, isn't it?
And squeeze.
So you run your hand from your outer
If you focus
thigh.
on the elbow and get the elbows as far behind you as you can, but keep the hand running along that thigh, you get this squeeze into the back.
Wait, you're going to show us in a minute if you don't have a band. But these bands are like, I think they're like £5 off Amazon for a set of 3. So I'll put it in the caption, which one
Brilliant.
that you advise to get.
That's it. So just going through and then pause. I think you're on your second set.
16.
I think you have. So you'd be pausing and doing your second set. Now I'm going to show you it with the free weights. I find with this one that you tend to need to go for marginally higher weight than the 2 kilos. You can use 2 kilos, and of course you can. But I find, funnily enough, it's easier to feel into the back if it's a tiny bit heavier. So 3s or 4s. So with this, everything looks exactly the same as what Victoria's doing there. Exactly the same. Get the arch in the back, tip over, push the bum in the air, put your shoulder blades down, and now just run the weights along your thighs. And squeeze. Keep the hands and forearms relaxed. Imagine your arms have nothing to do with the exercise. That they're not involved. Feel for the back and the elbows. And you
It's the top of the movement, isn't it? It's always at the top. And you squeeze to get to the top.
It's that. Yes. And you'll feel it from the lats, a little bit in the lower back, a little bit into the middle, getting the squeeze. And gosh, these back muscles are such a great big muscle group. And we don't use them enough. And when you get them strong, you've got so much power for everything else. Because they really are. Those lats are great big muscles. And they hold you upright. Right. And last but not least, I do like this one as well. Right. This one, as you might remember, Victoria. So this is our lateral fly, if you like. And it mimics the lat pull down in a gym, for those of you who are used to playing in gyms. We hold the band in the same way as we did at the beginning, just looping it around and having it just a little bit past shoulder width. So very similar to the second exercise, the rear deltoid one. Rear deltoid is for the back of the shoulders. This is for the back. And the beginning first exercise is going to look very similar to what we've done before. You reach out. Big difference though. Bring the band down just above the bust line. So it's about 2 to 3 inches below the neckline this time. Everything else is the same. Arch the back, tuck the shoulder blades in. And then one other difference is we're going at an angle this time. Up, and then we're going to keep the arms straight for this first one, I think. Just to, I think for the first one, Victoria, just for the practice run, and you get it, and it just gives the confidence to feel into the back.
Where
so very,
the wall meets the ceiling, you explained to me, so you kind of get up to...
Yes. Imagine you're aiming for there, exactly that. And again, control with the shoulder blades, but as you do, at the end of the move, you'll feel the shoulder blades tucking down and the sides of your back engaging. And the more you lift the chest upwards and the more you push your bum back, the more you're going to feel that. And you just get a nice set of 8 out. And then rest. And then the second 2 sets, we'll do the bend and lock. I find sometimes, of course, that first one with the arms straight, people can catch it. You can catch it easier as such. And then everything the same. Straight, hands pointing very flat along, just above the chest line. Weight in your heel, bend and lock. Keep the elbows reasonably high. They should be roughly at your band height. And then everything the same. And now this one, oh, you do tend to feel that squeeze. Push the bum back, chest up, get this squeeze through. And have the band, as you know, as loose or as tense as you need it to get it. So there's an outward movement with this as you go back. Just organic, because the arms are locked. The angle at the elbow doesn't change.
It's trying not to get the angle at the elbow to change.
Yes. It's a fly, which means you're very locked. That position is very solid.
Is this...
You can do it with the broom. The only challenge with the broom, and the broom will work, is it becomes then more like the lat pull down, which is good. So you get that pull, and that really does work. And it's slightly less of a fly movement. It's marginally different, but does work very nicely. And the key is keep the bum back, shoulders down. So yes, you absolutely can. Works really nicely.
So we've done
debate.
Right.
So if you've joined us halfway through, we are doing a posture workout. So we're strengthening and opening the chest, strengthening the back, pulling the shoulders down. So we've pretty much done the upper body bit.
We have. We've done part 1. So now we're going to move to the floor and part 2. So this is where, so we've done all of this bit. Now we want to work abs, glutes, hamstrings, the inner thighs, and get their support too. So tilting down, and that's it. I think. Hang on, I might just bring this down a little bit more. That's it. Right. Oh, sorry now. Knocking furniture, which is always useful. Now, is there enough light? Can you see me on the ground
actually,
here?
so we can.
Perfect.
There we go.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Right, so you know these we're going to start with these lovely lower abs. Oh my gosh, they're the areas that seem to also, some people can get very strong on crunches, but the lower end of the abdominals don't always engage in the way they should. And they play such a support role. I mean, they are essentially what we all know as the core, really. They play such an essential role. So this one is the one whereby you are lying down, as I gently move my weights out of the way. The tabletops. Resting your feet as if they're up on a top of a high table. That's it. Knees bent and slightly over the tummy. I think we'll just focus on the right side first. And then come down, leg nice and locked, and up for 8. That's it. And you really feel it in the lower abs.
Putting my navel to the floor.
Yes, please. Breathe out as the leg comes up, pulling the belly button in towards your spine. So breathing in on the way down, out on the way up. Just getting a good one.
The other side.
Nice and controlled. And then switch. Yes.
So the knee stays the same. It's
Breathing
just
in.
we're using the leg as almost like a weight for the abs.
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. You don't want any movement. Imagine it's your thigh going towards the floor and the floor just happens to get in the way. Don't focus on the foot. Focus on the thigh and the lower abs.
One each side.
Perfect.
Yep.
So now you're going to do another set. Now, if this is too easy, because honestly, there's a lot of people who do Pilates and other forms of exercise where they will work abs, then bring your head up and keep it up and then keep going. For your
So one each side, 8 on one side and then...
Yes. 8 on the right, then 8 on the left. Now, if it's too hard, alternating does make it easier.
5, 6, 7.
That's it.
8,
7.
Other side.
And change.
So I'm just tapping my heel lightly on the floor.
Breathing out.
Is that right? Just tapping, or you?
Just a tip. The second it tips, come back up.
Yeah.
Just a tip. And breathe out. Pull the belly button in on that lift until you've done the 8. And then you're going to do one last set. And same thing, if it's too much, you can rest the head on the floor. If you want, you can bring the head up and have the hand behind the head. That gives a sort of a halfway house. Makes it tougher than the head on the floor one, but easier than holding it up. Or you can just rest the hands down.
8 side.
Getting those 8 out. Lovely. And then you're switching.
Whoa. These do build.
Breathing in all the way down, out on the way up. Pull the belly button in.
They do build these.
Say that again.
Feel. Yeah, they look so simple, but they are not.
And they really make the difference. Interestingly, even to posture, they really do. So that's the first one, which is the lovely lower abs. And then we'll move from that into the glutes. And again, there's so many exercises for working the glutes, but the glutes and hamstrings, which are the next two we're going to do, I certainly find when I'm talking to clients, they're the ones that seem to get the weakest with all of us as we get older. And I don't think it's so much to do with age and more to do with habits.
Sitting on our bums, basically. If you sit a lot, and
Okay.
Exactly. So you're lying down, legs bent, feet about a little over hand width away from your hand length, I should say, away from your glutes. Legs nice and parallel. Press your heels into the floor, and pushing your heels into the floor, squeeze your glutes, and you're going to peel one vertebra at a time up off the floor as high as you can go, keeping the squeeze. And now when you're up there, focus on the right side, your right glute. Let both glutes relax initially, then squeeze the right glute, let it relax, squeeze, let it relax. And we're going to do 5 of these on this side.
Yeah.
And once you've done the 5,
okay,
switch to the left. So it's a squeeze and relax. And don't worry if both glutes squeeze. Some people find it hard to separate them. That's fine. Just focus in. Then squeeze both. Squeeze both. Come up a little bit higher. Let's just count to 5. And then gently, 5, you're going to come down, one vertebra at a time. And now we can rest, but if this feels easy, don't.
Do another
come
set.
Straight back up again. And
5,
and do another set. So if it feels, yeah, exactly, 5 on the right.
Yeah.
Because this is another one that builds. So the first time you can go, okay, I'm not feeling much.
The left and right.
Second time it's a bit more. And then you do both, hold it for about 5. Just hold the last one, just for, don't relax it. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I can feel like
and then down. And then third set, and again, if it all feels easy, just come straight up. If it's beginning to burn, you can rest for a moment. So the squeeze as you come up, and then 5 on the right. That's beautiful, yeah.
And I'm on my final hold.
That's it.
I can
Squeezing.
Definitely my sleepy glutes have switched on now.
Yes. And switched on is a great way of describing it, because that's exactly it, isn't it? It's to get them switched back on. Right, now our lovely hamstrings, the back of the thigh. Honestly, hamstrings, it makes all the difference in the world when you've got your hamstrings strong, supple and flexible. This, you want either a sofa, a footstool, as you said. I've got a little stool, and which I'm going to bring round, and let me do it this way. So, super easy. You rest exactly that, your back of your foot on that stool. So you're going to be pressing your heels into the stool. But before you start, make sure the legs are nice and parallel. Your focus here is, as I again move my weights out, your focus here is to hold your tension of those, your attention and tension of those feet into the stool. So really might want to try to push through it.
When I pull
and then you
through my heels, I can feel the backs of my legs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then come down again. And you're going to do now 8 of these, just up and down. Get the squeeze.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Keep the knees steady.
Absolutely.
Can you feel it?
4, 5.
That's it.
So strong hamstrings. I mean, we all obsess in yoga about long hamstrings, but strong hamstrings, all part of this kind of posterior chain that keep us hold us upright.
Yes, upright. Yeah, they keep the tension off the back, and they make all the difference when you're getting up from sitting. That's what springs you up. But they keep the tension off the back, but they very much hold you upright. Right. Strong quads at the front to pull you forward.
I've done my 8.
So second set, I'm going to show you with a roller, but actually you can just keep going with the exact same. Or you can use the roller.
I do have a roller.
You have a roller there. Yes. Right, let's show it with the roller. Now, honestly, you can do this with exactly as we were doing it. You don't need to change. If you want a bit more of a challenge, the roller, because it's less stable, forces more stabilizing to go on. So everything else is the same. Push your heel in tight, all the way down, all the way up. But really, you have to drive your heel in to get it. So really press.
Ooh.
And try not to let yourself rest at the bottom of the move.
Ooh. Yeah, you really have to work ability here.
Just getting that in. Yes, that's what makes it tougher. It's a bit like the old power plates. You have to hold, all the little stabilizers go on.
You can keep doing this with the chair or the bench, can't you?
Oh, of course, you don't need the roller at all. It's if you want to give yourself a little bit more of a challenge. And then the third set in this, I like to just change up a little bit. We did those with feet parallel. But if you do one where you have the toes touching and the knees squeezing in, you get the inner thigh. And that, in essence, is part of your core
too. Toes touching, knees squeezing. Okay.
So that's it. And you squeeze, you press your heels in, exactly the same, but squeeze the knees together as you come up. And you'll feel it right in the inner thigh.
I know.
And it's so simple.
I'm hardly moving, but clearly these muscles are kind of desperately in need of some activation.
Well, it's so beautifully isolating these. And you could do them anywhere. I mean, you can do them in a hotel room if you're traveling. There's no, you can do these. It's so easy to do anywhere.
It's on my 8.
That's it. That's it. And they're the lovely hamstrings. Right. Next, we're going to play with the lower back. So we're still going to be down low on the floor on the mat. And this one we can do with the same stool, actually. And again, I'm going to show it with that, and then I'm going to show it with the Swiss ball, if you happen to have one at home. So, now, you remember this one. This is the one whereby, as you can see, we're moving nicely through the core here, from abs, hamstrings, inner thighs, and the lovely glutes. So, this doesn't look like much, actually. It's another one that doesn't look like much. Just simply rest your body across. Knees can be on the floor. You can have your hands beside your, kind of out by the sides of your ears, if you like, by your head. Or if you wish, you can cross them across the shoulders. And all you're doing, small move, just come up as high as you can.
Okay.
And down.
So I'm wedging my feet. I don't know if you can see, my feet are kind of wedged against the skirting board there to help me. Because my knees, my chair is too high to go on the, for my feet to go on the floor. So I'm kind of pushing my feet into the wall.
Beautiful. And if you do that, then you can get a little bit more range with that. That's it. That's lovely. So you get, so this, the one I've got is actually slightly smaller range because of the lower positioning. But your job is just to squeeze.
And you said if you find the elbows behind the head too strenuous, you can cross your arms like this, I think. So that's
exactly
3 sets of 8.
So we want 3 sets of 8. So I'm just going to show it with this Swiss ball, which can be done in 2 ways, really. One is very much like I was doing there. The nice thing about the Swiss ball is your body can move around it. It molds, if you like, to your body, so you get more range. So the first version would be my knees are on the floor, just coming up and down.
Oh, this is so good for strengthening the lower back, isn't it? Oh, so many people have that.
And everything we do on a day-to-day basis pulls us forward. We need to get these lovely muscles awake and strong and supple again. So the second set I'm doing obviously on the Swiss ball, but you can just continue on the footstool, low table.
I mean, you don't actually really need any kit. You know, you don't really break a sweat in these. You could just do it in your, if you're in your comfies at home, in your pajamas, just do it, you know, in a bit of a break.
Completely. Now the third set, very briefly, I'm going to show is I wedge my feet underneath my sofa. So this gets more length and is a bit tougher, and it also works into the glutes and hamstrings. So I come all the way up and all the way down.
That's what
I'm slightly crooked on it there just to get the angle of the camera, but you get the sensation of it. And it's another one, if you have somebody at home,
I actually find it much easier pressing my feet into a wall, because then I feel I can get more lift. So I've been doing that for So I've done my 3 sets of 8.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the lower back. And then I'm going to put my little Swiss ball back. We are now, gosh, we're flying through these. We're now moving right all the way back up to our neck. So we've done all this lower core part, if you like. And now we're going on to our lovely neck ones. Because we often forget we've got a very big heavy weight on top of our neck. And we want the neck muscles working the right way to support it. So first one, super easy, is going to be our shrugs. Yeah, we are so nearly done. Just 2 more exercises to go. So shrugs are exactly as they sound. So I'm going to step back from the camera a bit. And I'm just simply standing on the band. My feet are just
and if you
directly
don't
underneath
have a
my
band,
hips.
you could just do
Legs
the
are
arm
straight.
movements.
Do you know what I often do? I often do this without any weight or band and just get the squeeze. So your arms are lovely and relaxed. Let the band pull the shoulders down. And if you don't have a band, just let the arms relax. Weight is slightly on my heel. And then all I'm doing is shrugging. I lift my shoulders up as high as I can to my ears and down. Arms stay relaxed. So imagine the arms have nothing to do with this. It's all in the shoulders. And ultimately, we're going for 8 here. You're going to feel it running up the back of your neck.
A great one to
into
do
your
when you're
skull.
waiting for the kettle to boil, isn't it? You could do this.
Isn't it just? Perfect.
And also it's a row at the wall. You could do, which is the kind of the lucky cat thing. I think that's rotating. Oh, I'm feeling this.
Yes. So if you stop after 8, you'll notice your head just gently pulls back a little bit. And we're going to do 3 sets. So again, as you exactly said, we don't need the band. You can do it without the band. If you've got the band, and again, you can make it tougher or easier with all of these. I keep repeating this, but it's so important. Just focus on the form and waking those muscles up. This is not a high intensity or weight training session. This is about activating all these little muscles and getting them supported.
I've done my 3 sets of 3. 3 sets.
Yeah. So this one, I was going to do 8, but 3 is actually enough.
I carry.
Right, very briefly then, because we will move on. You can do that one with free weights and hands, exactly the same. But you don't. You can keep it with the band with that. So you just get the 8 out. I'll just get the last 2, and then we are very last exercise. Super easy. Against a wall. This is another very technical one, as you like to call it, Victoria. It's a great name for it.
We can all do
Great
in
name
the
for
office
it.
or in the loo.
Yes. So with this one, you are, as you know, resting against the wall. Feel for your spine from the base, 1 vertebra at a time, all the way up. Flatten the shoulder blades in. Your legs are bent, feet are out in front of you. Keep the spine flat against the wall. Shoulders relaxed, palms face out. Chin is level to the floor. And then all you're going to do is press your head into the wall like you're trying to break through. Just do this for the count of 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and rest.
Yeah, really feel the neck strengthening and my chin really pulling in. Because that's what we forget how to do. We let the head flop rather than pull it in. Okay, next set.
Exactly. Shoulders relaxed, spine against the wall, shoulder blades in against it, chin slightly down so it's level with the floor, and press as if you're trying to break through.
Yeah, so my
breathing as you
go a little bit. They're about a
4
foot in the wall here, so I can get my lower back pressed in.
Exactly. So have the feet as far out as you need to get that spine lovely and flat against it. And for the 3rd set, same thing. So try not to let the lower back walk away from the wall. And pressing again as if you're trying to break through the wall for the 3rd set, for 5, for 4, for 3. Breathe, for 2, for 1, and rest. And when you stand up from that one, you get this almost strange sensation.
Yeah, my head feels like it's floating.
Exactly. That's exactly it, isn't it? Exactly that. Yeah.
That's well done
that's
to everybody who did it with us. And actually, as you get to learn the moves, I mean, we've taken our time today to get the form right. But as you get to learn the moves, you can go through these fairly quickly. And Zana, I think you recommended to me certainly Do it 3 times a week for the first 4 weeks while you're really building up the muscles, and then once a week. Or you can choose there are definitely things you can add into an existing workout there.
Exactly. Yeah, I think if you do it 3 times a week for 4 weeks, you're going to get the whole body realigned. And then once a week, but honestly, you can break it all up. I mean, as you said, some of these you can do when you're waiting for the kettle to boil. They're so easy. So you can break it up into 3 or 4 exercises at a time, and it'll just take minutes.
Thank you.
Definitely, yes.
Oh, thank you, Gillian. That was fabulous. Thank you very much, ladies. Well, also, Zana has done this workout for us at Get the Gloss on YouTube. So if you are, so she's done it in wide format, obviously without me, so you can really see how to do it. There's lots of technique tips. And actually, I did it on, because I've known the workout, I did it on 1.5 speed. So you can actually, you can do it in 20-25 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll put the link, in my link in bio to the YouTube video, but obviously this one is here for you to work on as well if you like. So does that, oh, hang on, we've got a question. Does that help a back that has started a curve at the top? You mean like a curve this way? So a sort of, are we helping, what is this, kyphosis, this one?
Yes, if it's a curve this way, most definitely, because it'll help pull the shoulders back down. And it'll just strengthen all the muscles. So effectively all we're doing here is getting the muscles doing what they're supposed to be doing and what they would have done naturally when they're teenagers and in early 20s. So we're really just getting them all woken back up again, because they do get extraordinarily lazy.
But I suppose we spend so much time telling them that this is our correct position, like driving or like that. They forget. So you've got to tell them to do this, do that.
We have. And muscles work. You've got that antagonistic, so they work sort of opposing. They support each other. Your chest pulls forward, your back pulls back. So if your chest gets very strong, you're going to, you don't have this strong enough. You are training yourself into this position.
Question.
Exactly.
Are these exercises good for, sorry, it's the condition of dissipated spondyloly, I'm sorry, I missed the tail end of that. Curvature.
Yes, and again, I'm going to say yes, and with all of them carefully. So just feel for them. You're waking the muscles up that help support. So they'll help support the spine, they'll help support the neck, they'll help support any joints. Just carefully and gently. Don't play around with heavy weights initially at all. Just play with the bands or freestyle. But anything that gets the muscles strong. Because we often think of strength as tightening, but strength means the fibers contract and relax readily.
Yeah.
So
Echo was saying that the one on the back, on the back was hard. She doesn't know which muscles to focus on. So we did 2. We did a glute, like a glute bridge, the first one. So it would be focusing on squeezing here. And the second one, I think you probably mean Echo, which was the one with the, just resting the heels on the chair and working the hamstring.
Which would
back
the hamstring. So if it's the one for the back of the legs with your feet on the chair, you have to drive your heels into the chair to get the sensation of here. With the one obviously for the glutes, you just squeeze as you lift. And if you mean the ones where we were lying on our back, yes. Yeah, so
hamstrings, I think if they were so hard, it probably means that, like me, you've got hamstrings that are long but weak.
Yes, and all you need to do is don't press in as hard into the chair or do less repetitions initially and build it up. So it's just a case of starting where you can.
Oh, she was using her back. Okay, great. Are there any more questions for Zana about posture? Honestly, Zana, I can't thank you enough, because this has had so much interest in this workout. Everybody is suffering because, you know, if you know, when I go on I was on the train the other day and it was silent, but everybody was like that. You know, we're all locked in these positions that when it's too late, we end up with neck pain, back pain. You know. Yeah, exactly.
Shoulder restriction, I know. And also, as I said at the very beginning, it even can affect our breathing. And that in turn can affect our emotional sense. In other words, if you're not getting enough oxygen in, you can get panicky and you may not have any you may not have any reason for it, but actually it's just because there's not enough oxygen getting in. So it can have a knock-on effect on posture all around.
Restricting our
Everything
muscles,
that gets
that kind of feedback between the you know, the body and the mind.
Exactly.
That's so true. So yeah, all of these, love those. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who joined, and I'm going to post this on the grid now, so it'll be there for you to do back as you like. And also don't forget, look at my link in bio, because the link to Zana's YouTube video, which is probably a little bit clearer and has lots of explanation, you can do that as well. It's the same workout. Yeah. Thanks, Zana. Have a lovely day. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Victoria. This has been such a pleasure.